What's good, people? How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, please do subscribe down below, smash a like, hit the bell. Those things help out a lot. As you know, YouTube never notifies people when we upload. It's so annoying, so make sure you hit the bell so that you get notified. Anyway guys, today we've got a dope episode for you. It's all about how to grow bigger flowers indoors or outdoors, because there are a few things that you can do to increase the size of your flower and increase your yields. Now if you're a home grower like me, the main goal is to grow some nice big healthy buds. The bigger the buds, the better. And if you're also like me, then you definitely know the disappointment when a strain you're growing never fully develops into dense, sticky flowers that you hope it would. Now while some strains are just naturally low yielding, you should always be able to produce high quality bud if you're taking the right steps. Thankfully, there are a number of ways that you can improve the size of your buds. There's pruning or defoliation, training, feeding, lighting. There's lots of variables. There are a few common things that you'll need to focus on if you want your plant to develop awesome flowers. So we're going to run through all that today. But before we get into that, guys, if you're interested in joining the ICANN Seed Club, definitely check the link down below. You get beans for a whole year plus many other awesome perks. So definitely sign up if you haven't already. And if you're looking for grow equipment for your grow room, Mars Hydro got you covered. Discount code ICANNTHE will also save you some bucks on grow tents, grow lights, everything on the website. So definitely check it out. And it helps support the channel. Thank you, fam. Now without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Yes guys, so today I'm going to go through a few tips and give you a crash course when it comes to growing better flowers. It's always nice to have some big dense nugs, right? I love flowers. Anyway, my first suggestion is pruning or defoliation. I actually went into this in detail in one of our recent episodes, so check it out. But for what it's worth, flower forms at the plant's nodes. A node is where the leaf or the branch grows off the stalk. The larger the plant grows, the more nodes will appear, which means that your plant will have more locations where buds can grow. So intuitively, you may think that more nodes means more and larger buds, but this is far from the truth. Nodes with buds that are lower down the plant away from the canopy will try to develop and flower, but will never become fully developed because they don't receive adequate light. So if you want to improve the yield of your plant, the best method is to prune away the plant life that's not receiving quality light. Remember what I said, large fan leaves that are not getting sufficient light consume more energy than they produce. So what you want to do is remove all of that plant matter that's not receiving quality light. Trim away the buds and the foliage that are under the canopy. That technique is known as lollipopping. You want to remove all that lower growth at the bottom third to half of the plant. This strategy sends all of the plant's energy into the canopy where the buds are receiving the most light. And then you get bigger, denser nugs. Win-win, right? There are a lot of techniques when it comes to defoliation and pruning. Some people may go a little bit overboard, but some people do it on purpose. Some people defoliate lightly, some people defoliate a lot more heavily. All comes down to your grow space, your grow environment, your grow setup, and how the light is actually hitting your plants. The main aim is to get rid of any growth that's not getting sufficient light. So like I said, I went through all this in detail in our last episode, so definitely check it out. Super helpful. Anyway guys, second on my list is training. This is another super simple way to increase your yields by training your plants. If you leave your plants alone, they'll generally grow one large main stalk with some other small stalks coming off around it. Medicinal plants typically grow in a Christmas tree shape, so if you don't train or top or do any LST, topping, firming, super cropping, high stress training, none of that stuff, then it'll literally grow straight up like a Christmas tree. So if you leave plants to grow on their own, they'll develop one main thick cola. So while that one main stalk grows into a nice cola, the lower branches will receive significantly less light just because of how it grows. So the aim with training is to get an even canopy which exposes a lot of bud sides to an even amount of light, as even as possible. So by using methods such as low stress training, super cropping, high stress training, bending the branches, all that sort of stuff, you can actually motivate the rest of the branches to develop, because what that does is actually break the apical dominance when you top and expose lower bud sides to the light. In essence, what happens when you train your plants is that the growth hormones are redirected, and instead of being focused on the main stalk, they're redistributed to the surrounding branches. And this promotes growth for the entire plant. And it also results in an even canopy of branches with a bunch of colas that are fat and all receiving an equal amount of light. Now next on my list is feeding. This one may seem a little bit simple, but a lot of people get stumped by it. Correctly feeding your plants is absolutely necessary when trying to grow large buds. As you probably know by now, nitrogen is associated with the veg stage, while phosphorus is the nutrient that's closely associated with flower, and potassium as well. Now feeding a plant nitrogen when it's vegging creates a healthy, vibrant plant at a young age that'll grow rapidly, which leads to increased yields. So you gotta know what to feed and when to feed it. After all, it makes sense, right? If you give your plant what it needs during veg, it can grow into a freaking monster before it even hits flower. Now once your plant switches to flowering, you want to decrease the nitrogen levels and increase the phosphorus and potassium levels. This helps the buds to develop fully and become fat, nice and dense. If you're growing in soil, when you're switching from the veg stage to the flowering stage, it may also also help to top dress the soil with bat guano, worm castings, and other natural fertilizers, as that's a great way to increase the phosphorus and potassium levels, and that's what the plant needs during flower. So think about it, once you give the plant that boost, it'll be like, yeah, I'm happy, I'm ready to flower. Big buds. Now another great tip when it comes to growing bigger buds involves regularly feeding compost teas to your soil. Compost teas actually help to develop healthy mycorrhizal relationships between the soil and the mycelium. The more mycelium in the soil, the more nutrients the plant is going to take up, which will result in bigger buds. And who doesn't like bigger buds? I always tell you guys about how important the symbiotic relationships are with the plants. Now feeding is super important, and it may be confusing because there's tons of options. One of our recent episodes we actually broke down our top 5, so definitely check out that video if you want a cool list of some nutrients that you can use. We've got organic and synthetic options in there as well, so definitely give it a look. Now let's move on. Next up is lighting. A lot of times if you want to grow big buds, then you'll need big lights. May not always need big lights, but you'll need the right lights. Most times when you see high quality premium flower, it's actually been grown under optimal indoor and outdoor lighting. You literally can't cut corners when it comes to properly lighting your grow area. Now basic rule of thumb for lights is that generally every 100 watts can cover 1 square foot. For example, a 600 watt light can cover a 6x6 area, but that's only a general rule of thumb. Now aside from that, you want to make sure that your lights are the right height so that your plant's not suffering from heat stress. Plant shouldn't feel hot and your hand shouldn't feel hot if you put it at the top of your canopy under the light. If you want to be super precise, you can use a digital thermometer to figure out those precise temperatures. By providing plants with the right amount of light and keeping the lights the right distance away from your plants, you'll keep your grow happy and you'll get bigger, nicer buds. You take care of the plants, they take care of you.
This video is brought to you by Mars Hydro, where they have a variety of grow lights and grow tents for growers of all experience levels. Whether you're a small home grower or setting up a slightly bigger commercial operation, they have the tents and lights for you. They have tents for every space and need, including the new 2-in-1 tents. And they also have a wide variety of lights to choose from, including full spectrum LED and the new detachable FCE series. Links to all of the products that we use on this channel, including the Mars Hydro grow lights, are in the description below. Be sure to use the links below to support the ICANTHC channel. You can also save a few bucks on the Mars Hydro website by using the code ICANTHC at checkout for store-wide savings. Don't forget to use the code and save yourself a few bucks. Now, back to the video.
Now a lot of growers overlook simple stuff. Some people like to cram a bunch of plants into one area. Regardless if you're growing indoors or outdoors, you want to make sure that your pots or plants are spaced far enough apart so that the sides of the plant can receive full sun. Here's a little pro tip. If you're growing outdoors on a south-facing slope, this will guarantee your plant is receiving as much sun as possible. Now growing bigger buds is a lifelong ambition for most gardeners. However, bigger flowers doesn't happen overnight. Gardening is a skill that takes time to refine since you can't speed up a plant's growth process. Now one of the best things that you can actually do is to write down what you're doing in your grows every single day. That way, if you have a successful harvest, you can revisit what you might have done differently in your garden and replicate it with future grows. It's all about learning. That trial and error is really an awesome tool for learning. Now these are just a few things that I do to get big, nice colas. A lot of people grow differently. If you got some tips and suggestions that you do to grow some nice stacking buds, then drop it down in the comments down below. I'm always interested to find out what you guys got to say. If there's anything that I missed out, then definitely drop them down there as well. Don't forget to use the Mars Hydro discount code to snag some awesome grow light. I've heard they got some new models out there as well. Definitely check it out. Now if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, hit the bell, but first check out this video right here and this video right here, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace fam.
Yeah.